brand new DC universe is in the works, led by the creative minds of James Gunn and Peter Safran. The pressure is on, and the stakes have never been higher, especially considering how the superhero movie genre has overrun cinema over the past decade. This upcoming universe is going to live or die on the shoulders of a Superman legacy, written and directed by James Gunn himself. Planning to release in theaters on July 11th, 2025, Superman Legacy will feature the 11th live-action Clark Kent/Superman in film and television. Because this icon has had no shortage of exposure to the world, what hasn't been done that could be done? How can one begin to initiate a new Man of Steel and introduce an entirely fresh DC universe in one movie? What could James Gunn be hiding up his sleeve, and how could it work? Stay tuned, because you're about to hear my pitch for Superman Legacy. Before we get to the pitch, please subscribe to this channel and please give this video a like. Also, if you could sign up to be notified when my new comic launches on Kickstarter this fall. It is a sci-fi fantasy adventure called The Fabled Offering. This is a book that, if you're a fan of Dune, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Dark Souls, Elder Scrolls, you're going to love. We just hit over 100 signups. The link is in the description below. It would mean so much if you could sign up today. Thank you all. To start off, let's get our facts straight and cover what's been confirmed for the movie. I'm not going to take my time speculating over rumors here. Everything I'm hoping for when it comes to Superman Legacy is based on what's been officially announced. We have our slightly younger, and we'll get back to this insignificant detail that may just be the key to the entire movie, Kal-El, aka Clark Kent, aka Superman, David Corenswet. We have our Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan. Oddly enough, characters such as the Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho have been officially cast as well. Gunn is on record saying that Superman Legacy will not be an origin movie. Rather, it, and I'm quoting Gunn here, tells the story of Superman's journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent of Smallville, Kansas. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned. I love the sound of that already. Gunn also announced Superman Legacy accompanied by artwork from the comic book miniseries All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, widely regarded as one of the greatest Superman stories ever told. A true modern classic by critics and fans alike, which I 100% agree with. And that's it. That's basically all we know about James Gunn's Superman Legacy for now. We have the title, some of the cast, and a very promising but general idea of what the movie will be about. That's more or less a template for so many Superman stories out there. What can we glean from this small amount of information, though? Ever since the announcement of Gunn and Safran taking over and rebooting the DC film franchise, and ever since the announcement of a new Superman film helmed by someone as talented and well-versed in comics as James Gunn, my imagination will not stop playing the guessing game on what he could have in store for us. My ideas for Superman Legacy would begin to take shape soon after the supporting characters mentioned before were cast. Then, after reading All-Star Superman as well as both the Superman Brainiac and Secret Origin comics by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank for the first time, it all came together. What I'm about to propose may be wishful thinking or too ambitious for a debut such as this, but if executed well, I could see it being a perfect nexus point for DC films moving forward. It's staring us right in the face. That word, legacy. What kind of movie that's trying to reboot an entire comics universe puts legacy in the title? Is it referring to Superman's legacy as the last Kryptonian? Is it referring to Superman's own legacy that has possibly inspired other would-be heroes of Earth to take that leap and come out into the spotlight? Or is it hinting at other Supermen as seen in the All-Star Superman storyline? Maybe it's all of these or none of these. Who knows? However, if we were to investigate that thought further, it would mean time travel would be involved. And how does time travel relate to Superman? Enter the Legion of Superheroes. If you're unaware, the Legion of Superheroes, the Legion for short, are a group of young heroes from the 31st century that have a long connected history with Superman's own in the comics. More specifically, with Superboy, or in this case, a young Clark Kent, not to be confused with the other Superboys in the DC universe, such as Connor or John Kent. Remember earlier when I said we get back to why a younger Superman might be more important than we originally thought? This is where the Legion of Superheroes come in. We'll talk about what I think their role in Superman Legacy would be, But to do that, we're going to have to first talk about who the villain of this story should be. My vote is for the one villain we've never seen in a live-action Superman movie before, and that villain is Brainiac. It's bizarre we've never had a proper Brainiac in a Superman movie in the 40 years they've been making them. The time is now, friends. And while I think James Gunn would be better suited to write a grotesque antagonist like Bizarro or Parasite, given his history and attraction to those types of characters, making a movie that isn't an origin movie, yet one that acknowledges the death of Krypton at Brainiac's hands, would mesh seamlessly with Gunn's statements. Brainiac having collected the bottle city of Kandor would also create tension for the Man of Steel. Forced to choose between Earth or what's left of his home planet, what would he decide? The story writes itself. This could also plant the seeds to introduce the universe's version of Supergirl, since a film starring Kal-El's cousin is in active development, and she's connected with Kandor. The source material is there and can be found in the 2008 Brainiac comic storyline written by Jeff Johns with art by Gary Frank that I previously mentioned. At the end of this arc, Jonathan Kent, the home he's anchored to by love, suffers a heart attack caused by Brainiac's invasion and passes away while Superman rescues Kandor, the home he's connected to by blood. This plot point could be one of the best representations of exploring Superman's alien origins and adopted humanity. Circling back to the Legion of Superheroes, Clark's grief after losing Jonathan would require remediation, and their friendship could be that remedy. It could take Clark to the past and future, explaining to him how many lives Superman has saved and inspired. They could even take him back to see his father one last time, a twist on All-Star Superman issue 6. What if Superman is the reason the JSA exists because the Legion take him to the 1940s? What if Superman is the reason the Green Lantern Corps exists because no one was there to protect Krypton? Maybe there would be a touching moment between Brainiac 5 and Clark where Clark tells him, "I know you wear the face of the man who killed my father, but I know you're not responsible, and no matter what, I'll still call you friend." All of a sudden, that word legacy opens so many doors. Oh, the possibilities here. I realize what I'm proposing is a lot. Far-fetched even. There'd be so many characters to introduce, so much ground to cover. Gunn's vision may be completely different from mine, and hey, more power to him. I'm a massive fan of my fellow Missourian either way, and fully trust him to deliver what could be the best Superman film ever made because of his excellent track record in the industry. The farm boy from Kansas could not be in better hands. I'm honestly just jealous I can't be a part of it. Maybe one of these days. What do you think of my Superman legacy pitch? What would you like to see in a new Superman film? Do you think James Gunn will do right by the character? Sound off in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say. Up, and away.